You ever felt out of breath, or you just can't get a deep breath, or anxious, or have lost control over your breathing, even though you're really fit? You're a mountain person. I'm bringing you here for Mountain Madness right here, but I got to put you right on this angle. Such a juicy topic today, and as a breathwork facilitator, I just can't wait to bring this to you. And I also can't wait to bring in my fake flower just to add a little bit more color. So today is about CO2 tolerance. And I brought up that first statement, and if you can answer it in the chat. You know you're fit, you're an athlete, you're a hiker, or you're a trail runner, and you know you're fit, but it's your breathing. And even when you begin, you start to feel out of breath. And a lot of people think that's you can't get enough oxygen. But what it is your CO2 tolerance is lower for varying reasons. Can be stress, can be shifts in your nervous system. It can be an overbreather. You've just fallen into a pattern. There's many things that can contribute to it. But today what I want to bring to you is how you can look at it where you're at, baseline. We're going to do a Bolt score. And then I'm going to give you a few exercises you can do to help improve that over time. So, example, if we're in the mountains, you can have two people with the same fitness level doing the same mountain. One is calm, grounded in the flow, and the other one is totally out of breath. And this has a lot to do with the mountains, because when you're going hours and hours in the mountains and your breathing system, your breathing efficiency, your diaphragm's not working optimally, how long do you think you can go? Because when you got to breathe faster, your system's under more stress. And even though you have a good endurance base and you've trained, you've done the step-ups, you've done the mountain stuff, if your system is not working optimally, you're going to fatigue faster and you're going to wonder why, what's wrong. So there's many parts of that, but I just wanted to bring in that when you are fit doesn't necessarily mean that you have a high CO2 tolerance. So we're going to get into this. Bolt score. So body oxygen level test. So we're going to do, there's 4 levels, and I'm going to need you at home to have a timer with you. And I don't have one here, but you're going to be in a relaxed state. Best to do this when you first wake up in the morning, when you're relaxed. Not after eating, not after you've come back from the gym. This is a base score to see where you're at. So no judgment, no like, oh, I'm bad, I'm not a good breather. And it's funny, I'm laughing because my dad always says when I'm going to lead a breathwork session, he says, you're teaching people how to breathe? Huh? I know how to breathe. Yes, we all know how to breathe. But there's ways to breathe more efficiently, especially if you need more capacity when you're an athlete or in the mountains. So, Bolt score. Very simple. In a calm, relaxed state, seated down. You're going to take about a minute of just regular breathing. And then you have to get ready to time it on your clock. So we'll do it together here. Imagine I'm sitting. Just about a minute of just regular breathing, calm nasal breathing. And so when we're about to touch the timer, you take a deep breath in. And you exhale. At the end of the exhale, you're going to hold your breath. So let's do it together. So take a few moments in and out. And when you begin to hold a breath, you press the clock and you see how long you can go. Now, very important, with this breath, with this test, you're not gasping you don't go to the point of gasping for air, or you've got like your throat clenching. You're going to the point of you have that first little reflex that I need some air. That first little, oh, I need some air now. Not where you're holding as long as you can. Super important. or that's cheating, okay? So it looks like this. So we're relaxed. Deep breath in, breath out, and hold. Time. That first sensation. You need to take a breath. Doesn't matter when it is. Just be truthful with it. So now, you keep the clock running because this can go up to 40 seconds for some people. If you were 0 to 10 seconds, you have very stressed breathing and tend to be an overbreather. If you're 10 to 20 seconds, that's average. Not optimal, but average. And you can be fit and still have a low CO2 tolerance. So no judgment here. This is a baseline. 20 to 30 seconds is really good. And then 30 plus, wow, excellent. Excellent. So I go over these because when people come into my breathwork sessions and I know their score, it's easier to guide them throughout the sessions and to give them the right session if they're doing privately. Okay? So how you breathe affects how you feel in everything. Walking up a mountain, how you are at work, how you're driving the car. It affects your state, totally. So we did the bold score. Make sure you time it. Relaxed state. Let the clock go if you can go longer. First sensation to breathe. Okay, so there's your score. And you can pull this up on the internet too. You'll be able to find those scores and read about them more. Okay, so how do we make it better? So that's nice, but how do we make it better? So, Lily, come here. There are a few exercises to make it better. So what I do, because I actually have this, I'm a little bit of an overbreather, and so I am a lower score. Even though I'm an athlete, an ultra athlete in the mountains, I have a lower score CO2. So I'm doing breath work and breath holds to improve that. Okay? It's not about necessarily better oxygen delivery I'm talking about. It's higher CO2 tolerance. Okay? So I need to work on that to increase that bold score. And there are exercises you can do. So number one, light air hunger. So when you're just seated, you're sitting at the table, just doing regular stuff, just practice breathing slow in through the nose 4 to 5 seconds and slow out through the nose 4 to 5 seconds. And that alone will give you some air hunger because it's much slower than you usually do. So if you do this 4 to 5 seconds in, 4 to 5 seconds out. So what's even better is hand here, hand here. So you're connecting diaphragmatically, and you're connecting to notice it's not just here. I want to activate in here and slow things down. Okay? And in that 4 to 5 seconds, you're creating air hunger, which is helping to increase your CO2 tolerance. And so that's one exercise, 4 to 5 minutes, creating a little bit of air hunger. Now, another thing you can do, which I do in my training in the mountains, is when I notice that kicking in, or sometimes at the beginning, I go right into nasal breathing. So I find a pace I can do with my flares in the mountains as I breathe through the nose. What that does is it keeps it more in control, so I'm not going into this automatic default of fast. If you're an overbreather, you can tend to go there just like that. So the nasal controls, so you go a little bit deeper. Now, of course, you can't be sprinting, so you control it. And if you're not in the mountains, when you're out on a fast walk, do periods of nasal breathing and just see how long you can go. Take a breath, come back to mouth breathing, and then come back to the nasal. I love doing it while you're doing your sport. Okay? Now another way to do it, come on, Lily, is breath hold walking. So, just as I am here, of course you come into a calm state first. Slow down your breathing first. Connect to your breathing. And then, what you do is you take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. And hold. And begin your walking. And when that sensation to breathe kicks in, you come back to your breath. And then you go back to another interval of walking. And then lengthen the interval of holding your breath as you're in movement. Best way to raise the CO2 tolerance. And then another way to raise it is to go walk a little faster. Walk a little faster. And then just gradually increasing those breath holds under movement on that out breath. Now, if you are in your score a 30 plus or nearing towards 30, you can even try this with jogging, running. Okay, you come into a run and you still do the breath holds, just like that. Gradually, maybe start with 10 seconds, then move to 15, taking breaks in between. Just like running intervals, you can do the CO2 tolerance intervals. And I guarantee it is going to show up in your sport, in the mountains, in what you do, in your efficiency. That's why we're doing this, right? And so that's breath hold walking is great. There's also CO2 charts which gives you interval breath holding, which we actually do in my 9D breathwork sessions. There's a few sessions like that for athletes. But there are charts you can find online. They're for divers, and they follow this interval system of breath holds, gradually increasing the intervals, similar to what I just showed you here. But it's just basic. It's like training your body. You can start really short, not so intense, and then keep adding it on. It is going to translate not only into your sport, but into your life. Into your life, how you show up. So if you can raise your CO2 tolerance, you can handle any stress situation better. You don't go into fight or flight the same. So this is not just about physical, okay, or physiological. We're working everything here, the whole pie. And this is just a small part of the breath work that I guide. I have a couple sessions in Innsbruck tomorrow. This is a small part. This is not even about the somatic emotional deep dives that we do in breath work. This is some of the physiological benefits, stress benefits, just for raising your CO2 tolerance. And one last thing. So just to recap, and the last thing I want to say is coming to breathwork sessions. Like one of my 90 sessions that I do in Innsbruck at my home here in Silts. My home is somewhere over there. And so in those sessions, we do repeated active breathing or down-regulating breathing. We always do a series of breath holds. And in these breath holds, you have the option to do it for a minute, even up to 3-4 minutes. And of course, that we build that up. And that directly translates into your everyday life. What happened? Breath holds are gold. Are gold. They're gold. They're addictive because of the presence you feel and the energy in the body. But also now because of these benefits, okay? Recap of what you can do to raise the score on your BOLT test. So you can do light air hunger breathing. 4 to 5 seconds in, 4 to 5 seconds out. Just in your everyday life, seated on a chair, 5 minutes. 2, nasal breathing in your sport, just like I was describing when I'm hiking, running. I'll do periods of just breathing through my nose. No, of course not. I'm not holding my breath as I'm doing sport. I'm controlling it more. Okay? And I automatically feel better. I automatically can take deeper breaths. You would think not, because I'm controlled how much air comes in, But truly, I used to do this in my racing. When I get overwhelmed too quickly, I come back to the nasal, changes things right away. And if I'm going for long periods of time and I want to keep my intensity lower, so I'm on a long run or a long hike, I'll use nasal a lot to make sure I'm at that intensity. Because if I can't do nasal, it usually means I'm going too hard in the beginning. So number 3, the breath holds under walking, which we did. Gradually increasing it, maybe starting with 10 seconds, coming back to your breath. Then come back into an interval 15, 20 seconds, come back to your breath. And if you're higher on the score, you can obviously up your intensity in the movement. Okay? And you can look at the CO2 drills for divers. You can find this apnea test. You can find it online. And they give you sequences of intervals. It's an app. You can use an app. And you can come to one of my breathwork sessions live with me in my portal or in Innsbruck. I've got 2 sessions tomorrow live. And I have an online free session next Thursday, which is the 30th of April. Next Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. this time. 30 minutes, that's all of your time. If you want to check it out, if you want to learn real time what this is, right? And how do you see improvement? You can, in your Bolt score, usually 2 to 3 seconds, you can increase it, I would say over a month's time. So you will see improvement if you stick with it regularly, at least a few times a week, of practicing these holds in 1 or 2 of these forms. Okay? Some of you may take a little bit longer, but 4 to 8 weeks for sure. It's the consistency that's key, okay? So I just wanted to bring to you the importance of CO2 tolerance, because when someone has a really low CO2 tolerance, it usually is related to their health in the moment for various reasons, nervous system, maybe asthma, maybe other things really making that score low. And if you're really fit, doesn't mean your CO2 score is really good. That's me. I'm very fit, but my score is on the lower side. I've had some injuries on this one side, so I have compromised breathing there, which I'm working on. Full diaphragmatic. So this is something that affects everyone. I'm not talking about athletes, but it affects everybody. And even if you're someone that does have asthma, this can dramatically improve it. This is not something to stay away from because of asthma. This is something that will help heal it. I will say it. Yes. It's dramatically improved the symptoms of asthma. So that's it. I'm going to stop there. Bolt score, you can find that online anywhere. Taking your test. There are 4 ranges that you can fall into. Take it truthfully, not to when you're gagging, to when you need that first sip of air. Those are the main points I wanted to reiterate, but this is a whole 3-4 hour workshop we can do. So this is just really condensed, a few things you can do. Any questions on this specific or any breath work specific, message me directly. I would love to help you out on this because this is big. This is what I'm working on too now. And it shifts your whole life. When you can connect to your breath and really slow down your own breath and really make it efficient, it changes your nervous system state, changes how you show up, changes your recovery and how long you can do endurance sports. It changes everything to me. So this seems like a little thing. This is big. So message me any questions. That's it. I'm done. Mountain madness. This is one of the juiciest pieces. And now tomorrow I'm going to be doing a workout session with you in the mountains. I have to find the right spot. Show up here, 11 o'clock. I got your back. I got your breath. Be good to you. Lily would say the same thing. Come here. Ciao. Ciao, Lily. So this is my backyard. All right, everybody, have a good day. Peace out and rock it.